Hello, friends! Thank you for joining me for our last Spooktacular story time. I've had so much fun over the past few weeks getting to talk about Halloween with you guys. But even though our storytime series is coming to an end, that means something exciting is getting ready to happen. Halloween! And today's theme, we're going to be talking about one of the funnest parts of Halloween, costumes! Now, I bet you guys have some pretty awesome costumes picked out for this year. Me? I am a fire-breathing dragon. Seems like I have a little bit of practice to do with my fire breathing before Sunday. So we're going to start out with our first book, and the main character absolutely loves dressing up for Halloween. He loves costumes and he loves trick-or-treating. So let's dive right in. Skelly's Halloween, written by David Martin and illustrated by Lori Richmond. Snap my fingers and rattle my bones, it's Halloween, said Skelly Bone Skeleton. And he danced around the room singing, heads and shoulders, knees and toes, trick-or-treating, here we goes. But Skelly had been sleeping all year, because that's what skeletons do when it's not Halloween. So he had to think fast and make a costume. I don't want to be a witch again. I kept falling off my broomstick. And when I was a monster, I was so scary I had to hide from myself. And then I didn't get any candy. I know, I'll be a ghost. He grabbed a sheet off his bed, and as fast as his bony fingers could cut and sew, Skelly made a ghost costume. Hot diggity, I am one beautiful ghost. But guess what? When Skelly stepped outside, the wind swept him up into the air and flew him like a kite. He twirled, he flipped, he spun, until, oh no! The wind stopped and Skelly fell down, down, down. Crash! Luckily, when Skelly hit the ground, he didn't break any bones, but he sure was in pieces. Legs, ribs, arms, fingers, toes, and all the bones in between were scattered here, there, and everywhere. Oh my, how am I going to get put back together in time to go trick-or-treating, said Skelly. Just then, a snake slithered by. Snake, I'm so glad to see you, said Skelly. I need help. Can you give me a hand? A hand? That's a joke, yes, said Snake. Do snakes have hands? No. But I can help. And bone by bone, he attached this bone to that bone, and that bone to this bone. When Snake was done, Skelly looked at himself all the way down to the tip of his tail. Wait a minute. I'm not supposed to have a tail. Thank you, Snake, but this isn't me. Sorry, Skelly, said Snake. We'll fix you, said an ant. And like a construction team, the whole ant colony got to work. Oh, what do you think Skelly's going to look like this time? Is he going to look like himself? Thanks, said Skelly, but I can't walk with 6 legs. I keep tripping. I'm a 2-legged skeleton. We don't understand how we walk with so many legs either, said an ant. I've got 2 legs. Let me help, said a chicken. Oh, brother, now I look like I'm supposed to lay an egg, said Skelly, who was so upset. He collapsed into a pile of bones. I'm like Humpty Dumpty, he sighed. No one can put me together again. No more running, no more dancing, no more trick-or-treating. Just then some children found Skelly. Look, whispered the chef. Bones! Real bones! Let's get out of here. Wait, said Skelly. And they talk! Run! Shouted the pirate. Don't go, please. I need help, said Skelly. I'm not just a pile of bones. I'm a walking, talking, trick-or-treating Halloween skeleton. What happened? Asked the pirate. It's a long story. Can you help put me back together the right way? That's easy. We'll make you look just like me. I'm a walking, talking, trick-or-treating skeleton too, said the girl dressed like a skeleton. Soon Skelly was Skelly again. Click my heels and rattle my bones, he said. I feel like my old self. I can run, I can jump, and you can go trick-or-treating, said the chef. I can indeed, and I know the best places, said Skelly. Come on, everyone. It's Halloween. And you know what I always say? Sure, they shouted. Trick or treat, smell our feet, give us something good to eat. Exactly. Let's go, said Skelly. Well, wasn't that a fun one? So I don't know about you, but that got my bones really itching to get up and dance. So how many of you know the dance, the Hokey Pokey? I bet you do. But today we are going to do a skeleton version of the Hokey Pokey called the Bony Pokey. I think Skelly would not only approve, but I think he'd be really good at it. Are you ready? You put your hand bones in, you take your hand bones out, you put your hand bones in, and you shake them all about. You do the Bony Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your funny bone in, you take your funny bone out, you put your funny bone in, and you shake it all about. You do the Bony Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your foot bones in, you take your foot bones out, you put your foot bones in, and you shake them all about. You do the Bony Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your skeleton in, you take your skeleton out, you put your skeleton in, and you shake it all about. You do the Bony Pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Great, guys! So for our next story, we're going to get to spend some time with one of my favorite storybook characters, Tacky the Penguin. And the book is called Tacky and the Haunted Igloo by Helen and Lynn Munsinger. Halloween was coming to nice icy land, and this year was special because the penguins had decided to turn their igloo into a haunted igloo. Wouldn't that be fun and scary for their trick-or-treating guests? For days, Goodly and Lovely had decorated their home with cobwebs, pumpkins, skeletons, warning signs, and all things Halloweeny. Meanwhile, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect worked on the treats. Yummy, gummy Swedish fish, batsicles, and awful waffles. And what did Tacky the penguin do? Snacky Tacky sampled the treats by the dozen and pronounced them beat-smacking good. When the morning of the big Halloween night rolled around, the penguins had a staff meeting. Who was going to haunt the haunted igloo? They were, of course. And that meant they had to choose very scary costumes. I'm scared of insects, said Goodly, so Goodly became an insect. I'm afraid of the dark, admitted Lovely, so Lovely wore a dark outfit with a big black mustache. The scariest things I can think of are monsters, stammered Angel, who had become a monster. And thunder and lightning are worse, added Neatly, in his stormy outfit. As for me, announced Perfect, I am afraid of bubbles. Bubbles? Bubbles. But Perfect was perfect, so no one dared to ask any questions. Now the companions turned to Tacky. Tacky, what are you afraid of? Tacky couldn't think of a single thing that frightened him. Nothing. But, cried his companions, you can't wear nothing. It's Halloween. Think, Tacky, think. So Tacky waddled off to a thinking place, and thunk, and thunk, and thunk. Zzz. That evening, the first trick-or-treaters arrived at the haunted igloo, shivering in delight at the scary sounds like the buzz of an insect and the blub of a bubble. Cobwebs surrounded the visitors, and skeletons popped out of the walls. Ooh, it was so scary. The trick-or-treaters kept coming and coming and coming. And look at all those fun costumes. You got a mummy and a giraffe a cowboy, a witch, a princess, a cow, a horse that takes 2 penguins, and a pumpkin. They're pretty clever, huh? And when they had all been scared silly, they all departed happily with shivering spines, feathers on end, and bags loaded with Swedish fish, batsicles, and awful waffles. This was the best haunted igloo in the history of the world. But wait, things were going too well. Where, oh where was Tacky? Had he forgotten it was Halloween? Knock, bangity knock! The entire igloo clinked as it shook. Who could be banging so loudly? The noise hurt their ear places. With caution, goodly, lovely, angelly, neatly, and perfect, creaked the door open, and there stood 3 ghosts. 3 ghosts who wasted no time in announcing, "We're trick-or-treatin' ghosties, and we ain't no toothy fairies, so give us all your yummy treats or we do something scaries." Oh my. Give us all your yummy treats. Now that really was scary. And the reason it was really scary was that there were no yummy treats left. Thanks to the visitors, and especially thanks to Snacky Tacky, not a Swedish fish scale, batsicle drip, or an awful waffle crumb remained. The 3 ghosts searched high, low, and sideways for signs of a treat. Nothing. And after finding nothing, they whipped off their costumes. Gasp! The hunters were back! "We's not called hunters for nothin'," they growled. And with that, they began the chase. "Gonna catch some pretty penguins, and we'll grab 'em by the toe, and we'll plop 'em in our treatsy bags. Hody ho ho!" All this commotion disturbed Tacky's thinking. Must be party time, he thought as he rushed to get ready. Bursting onto the scene, he shouted, "Is this a scary costume or what?" His companions pointed frantically to the big bullies in the doorway. Tacky waddled right up to the biggest hunter, gave him a friendly flipper slap, and exclaimed, "Well, howdy do, bro!" Bro? Bro? The hunter went from looking mean to looking slightly confused. "Bro? Like in brudder?" he mumbled. As he looked at Tacky more closely, the big fellow began to get nervous. "Him's got the same bootsies, yep, same pantsies, shirtsy, and suspender-renderers, same scarfy, yep, and looky, him's hat's just like mine. Gotta be my brudder." And then a worse thought hit him, right in his itty-bitty brain. But wait, him's just exactly like me. Him's me twin brudder. Then me's a twin. So scary looking. Me scared of meself. And at that, all 3 hunters dove their furry paws over their eyes. So there the penguins were, stuck with 3 shaking and shivering hunters under their kitchen table. How long would they stay there? A week? A month? Forever? The shivering would wobble the table so the soup would spill. And where would they put their webbies when they sat down to eat? There were no treats left to coax them out. Maybe, just maybe, they could frighten them away? So they tried their best, or worst, haunting noises. Bzzz, went the insect. Wubba wubba, moaned the dark one. Yeeech, screeched the monster. Boom biddy boom, roared the thunder. Blub blub blub, bubbled the bubble. The hunters didn't budge. Then Tacky chirped, "Hey bro, I'm coming home with you." Well, that did it. Up popped Big Bro. As he and his buddies fled the igloo, the hunter called, "You's not coming home with me, twinsy brudder. You be's too scary." He galumphing away as fast as he could go, wondering, "Does me have a beak like me twin brudder?" And his sidekicks hissed, "You think you was scared? We was seeing double. 2 of you was twice as scary." back in the igloo, goodly, lovely, angel, neatly and perfect hugged Tacky. Tacky was an odd bird, but a nice bird to have around. Isn't that a fun story? And there were lots of costumes in this story too, from the trick-or-treaters and from the main characters, Tacky and all of his friends. So something we're going to do now, I'm going to take off my dragon so you can see my face a little bit better. So something we're going to do now, we are going to learn how to sign in sign language different costumes that you might be seeing this weekend when you go trick-or-treating. Are you ready? So the first one we're going to do is Frankenstein. It goes like this. You know, like the bolts on Frankenstein's neck. It's like this. Next, we're going to do vampire. You're going to take your two fingers like this. You're going to turn them into fangs. And these fangs are going to bite your neck like this. See? That's vampire. Next, we're going to learn skeleton. And I think Skelly would really like this one. You take two fingers on each hand like this and curve them. Cross your arms in front of you and tap your chest like this. Skeleton. Skeleton. Good. Next, we're going to learn ghost. Now take your hands, put them in front of you, and pinch your pointer fingers and your thumbs together. Hold them out in front of you like this, and you're going to draw up an invisible string using your fingers, like this. Ghost. Ghost. Very good. Next, we're going to learn witch. So put one finger out in front of you, one pointer finger out in front of you, and the other one on your nose, and you are going to make a long curved witch's nose with your fingers, like this. Witch. Witch. Now, there's the next few we're going to learn are ones that I'm sure you're going to see a lot of over the next few days. The first is princess. You're going to take your fingers and put your thumb in between your pointer and middle finger. You're going to put it to your shoulder, opposite of the arm that you're using, and go across and down. Princess. Next, this one's a little tricky, but I bet you can do it. It's superhero, and I bet you're going to see lots of superheroes this weekend. So you're going to make a fist and put your thumb right into your shoulder. You know how Superman has an S on his shirt? Well, you're going to be kind of making an S shape with your fist, but you're going to be moving it with the syllables or the beats of the word, like this. Superhero. Let's do it again. Superhero. Very good. Now the last we're going to do is the trickiest because there are two words, so two movements that you're going to need to know. It is black cat. Start out with black and cat, like you're stroking the whiskers of a cat. Black cat. Now let's see how well you remember them. Can you show me Frankenstein? How about ghost? How about vampire? What about skeleton? And witch? And princess? What about superhero? And the last one, the trickiest, black cat. Very good, everybody. Now, it's really cool learning words in different languages because you never know if the person next to you is going to speak the same language as you. So it's always good to pick up a few words, and it's just fun. And sign language is something that a lot of people learn, and it's good to know, just a few words anyways. So our last book for today is another one that has some of my favorite book characters in it, and I bet you'll recognize them too. It is called Click, Clack, Moo, A Tricky Treat by Doreen Cronin and Betsy Lewin. Farmer Brown does not like Halloween. Witches give him nightmares. Pirates give him shivers. Jack-o'-lanterns flicker spooky shadows on the wall. Farmer Brown leaves a bowl of candy on the porch. He puts up a do not disturb sign. He draws the shades and locks the door. But in the barn, the Halloween party has just begun. Look at all these animals and all the costumes. That's fun. And let's see, they're even going to be doing prizes at this Halloween party. Most candy eaten, scariest boo, loudest scream, best costume. Very cool. There's a crunch, crunch, crunching as the mice scurry across the field. There's a creak, creak, creaking as the sheep slowly push open the barn door. There's a tap, tap, tapping, and the cows go to the window to let the cats in. Cows go through the window. Oh my goodness. Farmer Brown does not like the sounds of Halloween night. He checks the lock on the door. He peeks through the window. There is a dark creature standing beneath the trees. Oh my. Farmer Brown runs to his room, pulls on his pajamas, and climbs under the covers. Do you think he's scared? He hears the crunch, crunch, crunching of leafy footsteps heading toward the house. He hears a creak, creak, creaking on the old boards of the front porch. Then a tap, tap, tapping on the front door. Farmer Brown pulls up his covers tight. He hears a quack, quack, quackle in the crisp night air. Quackle! Farmer Brown jumps out of bed. The porch is empty. The candy bowl is gone. There's a new note on Farmer Brown's door. Halloween party at the barn. Farmer Brown runs to the barn. There is a creak, creak, creaking on the old boards of the front porch, and a crunch, crunch, crunching of leafy footsteps heading toward the barn. There is a tap, tap, tapping on the window. And there's Duck. Doesn't he look a lot like that creature that Farmer Brown saw? It's Duck as a vampire. And look what he has. An award that says Best Costume. Happy Halloween! So look, they gave Farmer Brown the best costume. The prize for best costume. What a nice surprise. I bet Farmer Brown was not expecting that. All right, so before our story time ends for today, I want to introduce you to the craft that we have put together for you. What you are going to get to do is dress up your own mummy. Wrap him all up tight so he is ready for Halloween night. And the craft kits will be available at the Reader's Theater, and they'll be ready for you to pick up whenever you come by to the library. I would like to thank you all so much for spending the past few weeks with me learning about Halloween. I have really enjoyed getting to share some stories and songs and different things with you. So I hope you all have a very happy and safe Halloween. Bye!